Hello everybody and welcome back to Vegetarian Foodies. Today I have a very simple recipe for you. We like to call it the Sammy. Basically this is a sandwich with a few simple ingredients that I just happen to really like, and I thought you might too. You could use probably any kind of bread for this. I would suggest, if you're not too fussy, super thick crusty bread or super thick super soft bread. Obviously I've just got normal loaf slices in this picture, but I believe they're thick super soft. But yeah, if you wanted to go real gourmet style, I'd suggest slicing a French roll in half, or using a crusty loaf and slicing some thick slices off it. Now what I'm laying on the bread now is some thick strips of tuna. This isn't canned tuna, of course. This is steaks of tuna. Steaks of tuna are very nice. They're so different to canned tuna. I love both, frankly, but tuna steaks, if you know how to cook them properly, so good. As you can tell from the middle of the tuna strips as well, they are medium rare. So I like to cook the outside, but fish gets dry and flaky and kind of tasteless really quickly if you cook it too much. Salmon, whitefish, tuna, fillets, all that sort of thing, they don't need much cooking. So you basically sear the tuna steak, like you saw me doing at the beginning of the video, on both sides, and very quickly and only for a short period, just a handful of minutes. And then the outside gets cooked. When you see the outside completely coloured and you flip it over and do the other side and it's completely coloured, you basically take it off. Of course, you leave it on for as long as however you decide you want it to be. If you prefer it super cooked, you can, but I just prefer mine medium rare. I find that it's more moist and flavorful this way. Moving on. After that, you will slice up some cherry tomatoes and place them on top of the tuna strips like so. So, as I believe I've said before, when I use olives, I'm not too fussy about what kinds they are, so long as they're not Spanish black olives or the types of olives you get from Subway. Too strong, too potent, I can't deal with them. Any other olives though, I tend to be fine with. Green stuffed olives, calamari olives, again, is just up to your taste. I feel like most of them sliced up are really good in salads and on toast and stuff, so it's literally up to you. I've used calamari, I believe, in this video, but you could use a mix of olives or use whichever one you prefer. If you like Spanish black olives, then use the black Spanish olives. This recipe in its simplicity is very easy to change up to how you would prefer to have it. So the next item on the list is crumbled feta. Again, use whatever you like. I loved goat feta back in the day. It's actually so soft and quite rich. But for sandwiches and rolls and stuff, nowadays I actually prefer Danish feta. And I do use Danish feta a lot on cooking now, but honestly, goat's feta, Danish feta, or cow feta, they all work. Cow feta is not as rich or as creamy. So if you're looking for something that is a bit more rich and vibrant in flavor, maybe go for Danish feta. Or if you just like really smooth and silky and thick and creamy, you can go for goat's feta. Or if you just want something a little more standard, a little more simple, go for your cow's feta. Again, doesn't matter, do whatever according to your taste and whatever according to anyone else's taste that you're making these for. So this is your semi-fancy toasties or sandwiches so far. Now you're going to add some olive oil. You could use a little drizzle of normal olive oil, or you could use what I'm using and use infused garlic, lime, whatever you like. The one that I'm using here is infused with lime, and I may have gone a little bit overboard. You only really need a very small drizzle. You could add a little bit more if you're planning on toasting these to melt the feta. I usually prefer melted cheese, but when it comes to feta, it's really not necessary. So again, up to you. As I say, there are many different variations you could go with this. Your different types of fish, your different types of olives, whether you use cherry tomatoes or replace it with something else, your types of feta, whether you choose a different feta, etc, etc. I just thought this was a good combination that went together and went together well. I really enjoyed it. And it's also really simple, but also really fancy. Like, I feel like you could easily serve this up to some guests or a friend you had over for lunch, or like a light snack, and they'd be pretty happy with it, especially if they're a fan of, like, you know, fried steaks and things. Of course, sprinkle some crunchy Maldon salt over the top just to add to flavour. Just a simple video this week. Please click the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed, and I will see you again soon.